Hi everyone, it's Paddy here from arithmetichub.com, thanking you for choosing this video, but reminding you that whilst this is one method to solve questions like this, it's not the only method. With that being said, let's explore this concept a little bit further. Hi everyone, so today we're going to have a look at rounding, and now if you look at the method section over here you can see this is a really sort of long method, but actually once you've mastered this method you'll be able to use this for any type of rounding question. It's just got a lot of steps. Now what's not going to happen is I'm not just going to read you the method and go, oh, once you've heard that once you'll be absolutely fine, you'll be able to do it every single time there, because it is quite complicated. Okay, so what I would say, we'll go through this together, we'll have a look at the different questions, we'll have a look at how it works, have a look at the method section, read through the method section. You might want to read through the method section on the website page, okay? I'm going to talk you through the method section on the website page, but then we've also got some questions that I can show you how it works on, because reading it out is one thing that might sound very complicated, but actually when you see it in practice and see it working, it might start to make a lot more sense, okay? So, rounding questions, they tend to look a little bit like this. Round 53 to the nearest 10. Round 1255 to the nearest 100. Round 99.57 to the nearest whole. Now, if you're in year 3 and 4, you might not have got up to this bit yet. That's completely fine, because that's more a year 5 and 6 type of question, because you've got 2 digits after the decimal place, and we're talking about to the nearest whole, that kind of thing like that. So you might want to stick with these ones and just go through this video a couple of times if you need to, for a little bit more clarity, okay? But if you want to stick around and watch to the end though, just so you get a bit of an understanding of how to do this and how you're going to be progressing with rounding as you go through school, that's completely fine as well. But let's start at the start, shall we? Let's start with our method. So the method says the first thing we need to do is we need to label our place value columns, okay? So for this question, round 53 to the nearest 10, we need to label our place value columns. So I'm going to put 53 in here like that, and I'm going to label on my place value columns. I've got my ones and I've got my tens, okay? The next step says box the digit in the column you're rounding to. So which column am I rounding to? Well, the question tells me which column I'm rounding to. It says round 53 to the nearest 10. So that's telling us which column I'm rounding to. I'm rounding it to the nearest 10, so I'm rounding it to whatever's in the tens column, aren't I? Okay? So I'm rounding to the nearest 10. Box the digit in the column I'm rounding to. So I'm rounding to the nearest 10, so I box the digit in the tens column like that. The next step of the method says underline a digit one place to the right, okay? It's always going to be one place to the right. So this is my tens column, so I'm going to underline a digit in the ones column. Be careful, remember 53 is a number, 5 is a digit, 3 is a digit, so we're talking about these digits, aren't we? So underline the digit one place to the right. Part 4 says if the underlined digit is 5 or more, the digit in the box goes up by 1. If the underlined digit is 4 or less, the digit in the box stays the same. Okay, so what I can do if I want to is I could write 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and a little arrow to show, well, that's going to make the digit in the box go up by 1. And I can write 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and just write stays. Okay, because if we round down, the digit in the box stays the same. It doesn't go down by 1, it just stays the same, okay? So, back to our question. We've labelled our place value columns with our tens and ones. We've boxed the digit in the column we're rounding to. We've boxed the 5, it's in the tens column, we're rounding to the nearest 10. We've underlined the digit one place to the right, we've underlined the 3. Okay, so if the underlined digit is 5 or more, the digit in the box goes up by 1. If the underlined digit is 4 or less, the digit in the box stays the same. Well, this is my underlined digit, isn't it? This is 3. So 3 is 4 or less. I can check that with this column here. It's in the stays bit, isn't it? So what's going to happen is the digit in the box is going to stay the same. So I write that again underneath. It stays the same. It's rounded down, but it stayed the same. Okay, now the rule with this is everything before the box on this side, so if we had numbers, if we had digits that were in the hundreds or the tens or no 10,000s or whichever, it would stay the same. Everything after the box becomes 0. So here's the box. We've decided what happens to the digit in the box. The digit in the box is staying the same. Everything before the box, which we didn't have, would stay the same. Everything after the box becomes a 0. And the final thing says, check for carries. We don't have to carry anything. That's not something we have to worry about here, but we might notice that on a later question, okay? So, we're rounding 1,255 to the nearest 100, okay? So, we've been told what it is that we need to round to. We need to round to the nearest 100. Let's follow our method to make sure that we are able to do that, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is label your place value columns, okay? So I'm going to write out 1,255. I'm going to put my place value columns above. So I'm going to put in my ones, my tens, my hundreds, and my thousands, okay? Now it says, box a digit in the column you are rounding to. So, I'm rounding to the nearest 100. So, the digit I'm going to be boxing is going to be the 2 because it's in the hundreds column. So, rounding to the nearest 100, so I'm going to box the 2 in the hundreds column. Part 3 of the method says underline a digit one place to the right. So one place to the right is this 5 in the tens column. Okay, and this is going to tell us whether the digit in the box goes up or stays the same. So let's check number 4. If the underlying digit is 5 or more, the digit in the box goes up. So if this digit is 5, if this underlying digit is 5 or more, this digit goes up by 1. If the underlying digit is 4 or less, the digit in the box stays the same. So we can see the underlying digit is 5. It's part of this group here that makes the digit in the box go up, isn't it? Okay, so 5 is going to make the digit in the box go up by 1. So we're going to write it underneath. It's gone up by 1, so the 2 has become 3. Okay? Then for part 5, it says everything before the box stays the same. So this 1 is going to stay the same in the thousands column, and then everything after the box becomes a 0. So when we round 1,255 to the nearest 100, we're going to round it to 1,300. Now let's have a little look at this one. Oh, before that, check for any carries. I don't have to carry on this one. I feel like I might have to on this one though, okay? So, let's have a little look at this method for rounding 99.57 to the nearest whole. Again, the method's going to be the same. It's just a little bit more challenging, this type of question. There's a lot of carries, okay? So stick with me, okay? Label the place value column. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my 99.57. I'm going to label my place value columns, okay? Start with my ones, tens, decimal point, tenths and hundredths. I'm going to put my teeth in there for those ones. Again, remember, tenths column, tens column. Okay, round 99.57 to the nearest whole. Now I'm rounding it to the nearest whole number. So the nearest whole number is the nearest number without a decimal point, or that we don't need a decimal point for. So what that would mean is we are rounding it to the ones column. So I'm going to box this 9 digit here. The next step says underline the digit one place to the right. So now I need to underline this 5 here. Okay, and then the next step says if the underlying digit is 5 or more, the digit in the box goes up by 1. If the underlying digit is 4 or less, the digit in the box stays the same. The underlying digit here is 5, so it's going to make the digit in the box go up by 1. The problem that we're going to have here is we can't write 10 in the ones column. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so what we have to do is we're going to have to write it as 0 in the ones column and then carry the 1 here. But then we've got another problem, because then we can't write 10 over here in the tens column for when we have to add the 1 that we've carried. So again, what we have to do is we have to write it as another 0, carry the 1 over here, and then write it in and add in our hundreds column here like that. Okay? So, let's check where we're up to. We've done section 4. If the underlying digit is 5 or more, the digit in the box has gone up by 1. The 9 has gone up to a 10, and then we've had to do some carries with that, okay? Part 5 says everything before the box stays the same. Now that is the case with everything unless we have to do some carrying. Everything after the box becomes a 0. That's going to stay the same though, so I need to make sure my decimal points are lined up. Everything after the box is going to become a 0, okay? It's after the box, so it's going to become a 0. Now, my answer is 100.00. You know I don't need to write 100.00. it's not necessary, is it? I can do if I want to, or I can just write my answer is 100. It's a whole number, isn't it? So in round 99.57 to the nearest whole, it's rounded to 100.
If you found this video useful, then I would massively appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you want to explore more methods or practice using the method we've looked at here, why not check out the teacher videos at arithmetichub.com. Arithmetic Hub has videos just like this on different methods, specifically targeting areas needed in Key Stage 2. There you can practice one particular skill or generate your own sets of calculations designed to challenge your understanding of all the topics covered in Years 3 to 6.